Hello, I'm Caroline Fairchild, and welcome to LinkedIn News Live, where the business conversation begins with you. There are reportedly 50 million content creators across social media platforms, and TikTok is the latest craze. TikTok content creators make and share 15-second to 1-minute videos on just about anything you can think of, and it can be very lucrative. According to Influencer Market Hub, the industry is set to grow to approximately $13.8 billion this year. My first guest is Destiny Berman. She's joining us as a launch strategist and host of the Makeshift podcast. She teaches entrepreneurs and educators how to profitably grow their business online with digital programs. She has 15 years of experience running large-scale marketing campaigns in Silicon Valley. She's a UC Berkeley alum. Destiny, welcome to LinkedIn News Live.
Thank you so much for having me. I was rocking out backstage to the music.
I'm glad you like it. It took our producers a long time to find that music, so I'll make sure and let them know if they're listening as well right now, so I'm sure they already do. Destiny, we wanted to bring you on because you were in conventional jobs before coming into the creator economy. Where did you see the opportunity? How did you think this could be a career for you?
So it was a bit of an accident because I saw that there was a lot of opportunity in online education, mostly because I was pursuing a lot of learning myself. And as I was researching the space, I saw that not only was there underserved markets like wellness, but that with personal growth, there was so much that could be pushed out leveraging digital marketing and social media. So it was a bit of an accident combining my personal interests with where I saw the industry going.
Well, it was a happy accident for you. This is one of the fastest growing economies right now, and bring up some numbers that we have on just how quickly the creator economy is growing as we speak. Destiny, walk us through some of these numbers. Why is this an economy that's growing so rapidly? What's happening here?
Well, so one, the online education industry, what is expected to be $325 billion by 2025. And the fact that there is over 2 million individual creators joining the market every single day tells us that there is a shift towards monetizing knowledge. There is an acceptance towards mainstream learning online, whether it's higher education and day-to-day, and that individuals are pursuing within the passion economy, building a business around their passions, their gifts, and their expertise, and that it doesn't always have to look the conventional, traditional path.
And a lot of kids these days are thinking that this is going to be a conventional, traditional path, though. Certain surveys show that 29% of kids right now are saying that they want to be YouTube stars. Is this a way that in the future we're going to see more people making money? How are they making money?
Yes, so I believe so. And the first step is to be treating this like a business. Because as creators, we can be pushing out great content. We can be connecting with our audience and building audience, whether that's blogging, podcasts, TikTok. But the key is, if you're thinking about it as a business, I believe that one of the most valuable ways to monetize your community and build this into a lucrative, whether it's a 6 or 7-figure business, is with high value courses. And because people are expecting to learn online, building a high value course where there is engagement, where there is support and active learning is one of the best ways to build this into a business and to be able to live out your professional calling.
And your business focuses on getting people to make money through digital courses. That's just one of several ways that people can make money off of social media right now. The digital courses themselves, though, I'm sure there's a lot of people joining us in the stream who want to learn more. How do you do that? How do you build a brand around that?
So one, you want to start with you, and we don't want to underestimate the value of a personal brand that is reflective of your passions, your epiphanies, your expertise. It starts with you. And then you want to think about, well, what is it that I want to teach that is outcome-based and transformation-based? The more specific how-to, the more specialized you can create a course around is going to be highly valuable among the sea of content out there. So there's a course that you want to deliver, and then now you want to think about, well, how do I want to structure this course so I can monetize?
And I think there's a lot of misconceptions around influencer marketing and content creation. I know a lot of influencers right now are actually resisting the idea that they are influencers or influencing. Yeah. What is the difference here? And are we seeing diverging markets in terms of opportunities?
Yes, I believe that the industries are actually merging because traditionally as an influencer, you're monetizing off sponsorships, advertising dollars. And what has happened is that with content marketing, you're pushing out content and building online community. But what's happening now is that the course revenue stream is creating a bridge between the two worlds. So whether you're an influencer, whether you're a content marketer, if you have audience and if you have knowledge to monetize, this really sits as a viable revenue stream for both groups.
Well, really quick, Destiny, before I let you go, I'm seeing some people on the stream right now saying that they too want to get into the content creation scheme. Any top mistakes that you see people make when they first set out?
Yes, number one is not getting specific enough. And I can't say this enough, but you want to get very specific on the outcome and the how-to that you are teaching. And number two is being willing to go very specific with your niche and the group that you are serving. If you're willing to narrow your topic, this by default will also narrow your niche and your audience. And then finally, the third one is trying to do too much too quickly. I definitely fell into this mistake as well, but you want to be willing to go narrow in order to go big.
All right. Well, Destiny, thank you so much for joining us on LinkedIn News Live. I definitely took notes during this. Maybe I'll go into the content creation scheme. Look out, LinkedIn. Thank you so much for joining us on the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
That was Destiny Berman. She's a launch strategist and the host of the podcast, Make This Shift. All right, let's now talk to some very prolific content creators in their own right. I first want to bring on Rod Thill. He's currently at ShipBob, but not mentioned on his profile as he is named one of eNews's top content creators of 2021 and has over 1.1 million followers across social media. He spent about 5 years in the corporate space, which is a lot of what his content pokes fun at. He went to North Central University. Rod, welcome to LinkedIn News Live.
Great to be here.
All right, we're also going to be joined right now by Lydia Keaton. She is a content creator and TikTok influencer. She has also over 1.2 million followers and focuses her content on health, wellness, beauty, fruit. She got her bachelor's degree from Yale University. Lydia, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
All right, I'm going to start with a soft one for both of you, but we just heard from Destiny that there's 2 million people trying to come into this content creation game just every day. When did you know that this was something you could do? When did you see that your content was standing out? And how did you even get started creating content? And Lydia, I'll kick that one to you first.
Well, so for me, it was like a pretty specific moment where I had a video go viral. It was one of my first TikTok videos that I had posted. And I was actually in, I think, kind of a unique point in my normal or my day job at the time where I knew I wasn't going to have that job in 3 months because I don't want to get into the kind of complications of it, but basically the company's deal was not going to get renewed. And so I knew I was going to lose my position because they weren't going to have enough money to pay for my position. So as soon as I kind of got a taste that, okay, maybe I can start building an audience online and that this could be potentially a career path, I was very intentional about trying to grow it. So I was maybe premature about being like, this will be my job. Before it actually looked like it was going to be a viable job for me.
And Rod, what about you? What was the moment when you realized millennials like me have like a lot to make fun of?
Yeah, absolutely. I think similar to Lydia, just like I was working my corporate day job, right? And I started making content about that. And I'm in sales, so I have an analyst hat on all day. And I think that's maybe the difference in the content that I've made is I saw a video go viral for a certain reason, and that's because people started relating to specific anxieties in the workplace. And I'm like, this isn't touched on very often. So then I just kept going with that same idea and just diversifying the specific anxiety, and then just keep using that analyst hat that I have on for my job with my videos. So a lot of people are like, man, do you spend all day on TikTok? I'm like, not really, just because I kind of know my niche and I can think of ideas throughout the workday because I'm facing them directly and then put them to paper.
Very specific content like Destiny was just talking about. Well,
Yes.
Lydia, there's the moment when you realize you can build a following, and then there's that moment when you say, oh, I can maybe make money off of this.
Mm-hmm.
So what was that moment for you when you realized, hey, I could actually turn this into something that I'm doing full time?
So I don't know how familiar you are with my content, but it's actually had many different iterations. And I think Rod could probably speak to this, but as well, but I think TikTok definitely rewards when creators have a niche. So in the beginning, my niche was actually very different from what it is now. It was actually makeup and storytelling, because my background was in stand-up comedy. And so I started with comedy, and that form of like makeup and storytelling, I would have videos go viral, but I didn't have a lot of brands reaching out to me to do collabs. And that's how influencers or content creators make the bulk of their money, is by working with brands. So and I think the only type of brands that could really see themselves working with my content were makeup brands. So maybe that's why I just didn't have a lot of reach outs. And then in, I would say, January of 2021, I pivoted and I started kind of showcasing just more parts of my life, specifically fitness and running more specifically. And that's when I started making actual money, like an actual livable income. So I think that's when I started being like, okay, this is something, I don't have to look for another job. Like, this is now sustaining me.
Lydia, to answer your question, I'm embarrassing familiar with your content. Like, I know you got a sunburn on your back last weekend, so.
In my face.
How is the sunburn? I'm dying to ask actually how the sunburn is doing.
The sunburn's actually all better. Thank you for your concern.
Okay.
Yeah, it healed. It luckily didn't blister, but yeah, that was a bad mistake. I thought I was going to the beach for an hour. Then I saw some friends. It became a whole thing. I was there for several hours.
Thoughts and prayers. We've all been there.
Mm-hmm.
Rod, I think you're actually the first guest that we've had on this show that doesn't have a title. And I think that kind of speaks to just the changing nature of work and everything that we're doing. I actually want to bring up a funny TikTok that you posted recently about this and get your take on it.
Good.
I just to ask the question, like, what do you do for work? How do you explain to your parents, your grandparents, people that are inside and outside of your company what you do?
Yeah, exactly. So I'm an account executive, so sales. But I think that was more, I think, touching on the awkwardness that we all face. I don't know, when someone asks me specifically even about TikTok now, I know that it's not in their head that they're like, oh, I have to ask them about his TikTok. But in my head, I automatically think, oh God, they don't want to hear about this. So I'm like, oh, I make videos. And they're like, okay, tell me more. And I'm like, you don't want to hear more, you know? But I usually, I explain. I'm like, I think what I say is nothing surprises me anymore. 8 months ago, I was literally sitting in the same chair, but I was just working my 9-to-5 job, you know? But now I've had the opportunity to meet and sing Backstreet Boys, you know, educate people in the millennial experience, be here chatting with you. And I think from all that, what I say is that I have the chance to be creative in my day-to-day and explore new opportunities like writing. Now I'm getting into writing, you know, outside of just TikTok, but possibly commercial, or I'm working on a pilot personally. So it's everything is constantly shifting, but it's been fun to do.
And so I have to ask you about that opportunity with NSYNC. How did that even come to formation?
Yeah, so I touch a lot on the millennial experience. So part of the reason I was growing is I was hitting these deep tracks that not a lot of people listen to anymore, but now a lot of people are. Like my Spotify, I've grown to like 20,000 followers, you know, and just because I was making these playlists and touching on these songs like NSYNC and Backstreet Boys that are deeper tracks. And obviously that's the beauty of TikTok is Lance Bass followed me. And then after Lance Bass followed me, I obviously messaged him back. We were DMing a little bit, and turns out we have a mutual friend. I was heading to LA to meet with some people. And then like this, Lance Bass showed up on my TikTok. So he was like, can I come meet Lance Bass? Like, yeah, come over to his house. And so we started chatting and making videos together.
I'm very jealous of that. Lance Bass was like one of my first crushes. It was Nick Carter and then Lance Bass.
I met Nick Carter the last time I was there too, so that was fun.
God, what is going on here?
What is going on? I don't know. Again, nothing surprises me. Nothing surprises me.
And Lydia, you're kind of side to this of like, what am I doing? What is my job? Am I a business owner? Am I not? Some of your comments, some of the people that follow you have commented on this. So I want to bring up a quick clip that you put about this as well.
Okay, so over the past year, I have gotten 1.1 million followers on the internet, and I've become an influencer. I hate the term influencer because I feel like it implies some sort of like trickery and deceit, like I'm influencing you guys to buy things and like you don't even know you're being influenced, and I hate that. Like I think it's just kind of disgusting, and I also just like that's not at all what I try to do. So anyway, but I think what I've been forced to reckon with over the past year is how I used to really delegitimize the industry of influencers. And I think that had a lot to do with internalized sexism, because the influencer industry is made up predominantly of women. And when industries are made up of mostly women, they tend to be undermined and discarded as illegitimate. And I think I was complicit to that. So I want to apologize to all influencers I had that preconceived notion too, because what it really is running your small business. And I think about this every day when little companies reach out to me and they're like, hey, I'm a small business, can you help me out and like showcase my product? It's like, sis, I'm a small business too, and I'm trying to run it.
First of all, you have influencers.
What's that? Sorry.
I said you have influenced me to buy a couple things, even if that's not your intent, but that's okay. Let's talk about this, just rethinking the industry to be more about business owners and running a business. How did that click for you? And what do you think how does an industry need to evolve that more people think about it like that, as opposed to this icky, I'm trying to get you to buy something?
Yeah, well, so it is a small business in the sense that like we as an influencer, let's just use that term, even though, as I said, I don't love it. You are providing a service to companies or small businesses by marketing their products for them. And that's kind of like what being an influencer is. You're kind of a genius, or not me, but like people who are really good at influencing, they're really brilliant marketers who have figured out a way to market themselves and then market the products that they use. So that was kind of the point I was trying to get at there, that like it's not just like looking hot in a tank top that you're trying to sell. Like there's a lot more to it.
Yeah, absolutely. And for me, what the whole influencer discussion gets to is just authenticity. Mm-hmm. As both of you were discovering your niches, Rod, mm-hmm. How do you keep authentic to it? You know, it's super funny, I'll have to say, but it's something that, you're doing in different ways every single time. Do you ever feel like you're just putting on an act to get the clicks or to do something that's working for you to get more followers?
Yeah, and if you allow me to be candid with you, I think there's something called creator burnout, where we, especially with TikTok being amazing, and TikTok, I wouldn't be here without TikTok, but TikTok posts your views, right? And like that's how you feel like your video is performing. I don't know if Lydia can attest to this, which has been fun. Also, side note, Lydia and I have connected on TikTok before, so it's been cool to have opportunities with people like this that we've connected with. But yeah, I think there's this specific creator burnout that comes to views, but I think also then tapping into yourself and just being like, okay, you're being yourself though, and at the end of the day, you are reaching the people who, so, okay, some videos get 2 million views, some videos get 70,000 views. So obviously that's a big difference, and that can take a mental toll on you. So just reminding yourself that, okay, but that's 70,000 people that 8 months ago you would not have been reaching has been my biggest reminder. But yeah, just even in doing the influencer, content, I think just being true to myself, saying yes to brands that I would work with, or if I could work it into my niche and make some sort of comedy out of it, has been really important. And I just think specifically working with brands and making sure they understand that it is algorithm based, and we want the ad to do just as well as they want it to do. But in order to do that, we need to be able to put our own spin on it and make it make sense for our page. Like I don't do unboxings on my page, so I'm not gonna sit there and do an unboxing because it wouldn't make sense to my page.
Well, speaking of unboxing, Lydia had a video earlier. She's holding a bunch of clothes, and she was like, "I know you guys like the unboxing, but like I already opened it, so like let's just do that." So like that's like a moment of authenticity. But do you think like, oh, if I brought the box out, maybe I would get more views on this post?
Well, so my understanding of how TikTok works and how your video gets pushed into the For You page, which is the feed that people, if you're unfamiliar with TikTok, it's just the feed that where people watch content, is like your video gets pushed up more and more into For You pages the longer people watch the video. So if the average watch time is long, then your video will probably go viral. So I'd imagine why unboxing videos are successful for a lot of people is because there's kind of like this built-in suspense. There's a box and no one knows what's in it yet, and let's see. And so that there's like obviously a big reveal, or not a big reveal, but there is a reveal in the video, which is why I think unboxing videos have done well for me historically, even though they're not very creative. But I've also had unboxing videos flop. So I really couldn't tell you what nuances make some unboxing videos successful and some unsuccessful.
And I think I think it goes back to knowing your audience too. Like Lydia, like the people follow you for that. For me, the people didn't. Yeah. My 85% of my audience is millennials that are working in corporate America. So they literally, sometimes even in a 2-minute break between Zoom calls, have time to watch a 7-second video. Right. So that's why I keep mine short and sweet. And those people follow me. So you just have to, it comes to knowing your audience too, and seeing what works, and just helping the brands understand who your audience is.
Speaking of millennials working in corporate America, Rod, I want to just get to kind of the changing nature of work and how I don't know if you've seen the headlines. A lot of people are quitting. A lot of people are saying after the pandemic, YOLO, I don't want to be in this job that's just sucking the life of me and doing something else. We have another video from you that I want to show that illustrates this point a little bit better than I can.
Oh man, and those are the videos that what were you saying, sir?
It's to say this is me every day at work, but I do love my job. I do love it.
Yeah.
But to that point, my question for you is, this is your audience. Do you think that we're just going to see more millennials drop out of the workforce, start their own businesses, create content? What do you see as is happening with corporate America right now?
I think that there's still going to be like this fear that us millennials have, even me, it's just like I'm in a better spot in life than I've ever been, but there's still going to be this fear of, what if I fail? We have such a fear of failure as a generation, I think. So I don't think as many people will be dropping out, but I do feel like work from home, people have been more open with their anxieties. A lot more people have been going to therapy, which is so important. So they're able to be honest with those around them. And I think the honesty has transpired to people being like, you know what? I don't want to come back to the office. So I think people, from what I've heard, just through the grapevine or people have DM'd me, is that they are having real honest conversations with their bosses. Like, hey, like, to be honest, I think I would be more productive working from home. And then what I've heard is people quitting to find jobs that are valuing the work from home experience because it has worked. It's like ShipBob went fully remote and the employees are loving it, where I know there's companies that are going back to standard 5 days at the office work week next month.
I'm going to pause the conversation briefly and say hello to some members who are joining us in the stream right now. We have Luis from Arizona, Selena from California, Ingrid from Maryland, and Eugene from Illinois. Thanks for joining us here on LinkedIn News Live. I'm here talking to two of my favorite TikTok influencers, Lydia and Rod. If you have questions at all about anything in the creator economy, how they created their small businesses on social media, let us know in the stream and we'll get those questions answered on the show. Lydia, for you, you're your own boss right now, right? So the mental health questions that Rod was just discussing, those are some that sometimes you play out on your own channel. And I have to assume that some days you don't want to go on an 18-mile run, but you still feel like, oh, I should post something. Yeah. How do you keep your own mental health in check?
This is a very timely question. And to be honest, I don't have a short answer to it right now because I'm really still trying to figure it out. I definitely, I started showing the fitness aspects of my life, which I think have been the most successful on my TikTok because I was just loving running. And I was like, I want to share this excitement for running in a very recreational way. Like, I'm not a competitive runner. So that's why I started showing my big runs, specifically my long runs where I was going like 15 miles. And at the time that was bringing me a lot of joy, but it is now kind of going into a bit more of a complex place where my running is now very much tied to my source of income and my job, which is being a content creator. So one thing that I'm currently trying to work through right now is how to maintain like my own love and passion for fitness and working out, and without it being kind of, I guess, like infected by this, when something is that your job, it inevitably, then you take a kind of like a dread when you do it. And I don't want to have that relationship with working out. So that's not an answer to your question, but just basically me saying it's a relevant question.
And as I think about this topic of just maintaining your mental health while putting so much of it on the internet, Rod, I don't think like you making fun of Lisa Frank is going to get you canceled, but I mean, we're in just this cancel culture right now, and you guys are putting so much content out there. Are you ever afraid of just putting something out there that's going to impact people in a way that you aren't going to be able to perceive?
So I'm open about anxiety in every one of my videos. And I think that's been refreshing too, as like a 31-year-old man working from home. Like men don't talk about their mental health as much as women, it's like statistically shown, and as we should, because I think it would help us relate more. But I think, yeah, speaking of that, it's just every day, that's the fear that I have. It's like, what am I going to say today that I'll get canceled for? There's even been things like Chugi where it's just like, it started as a joke, but then that's the thing about TikTok is one person will make a comment that it's a certain way and then it'll spiral. But at the end of the day, I think you also have to understand, and I know Lydia speaks up her mind and I respect her so much about it. So I'm sure she gets people in the comments that just don't agree with her. And you just have to focus on the positive and the people like yourself who think that it's a funny topic, rather than the people who are taking it a completely different direction and trying to get people to do the same.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that really, yeah, Lydia, I'd love your thoughts on that in terms of dealing with the haters or the trolls or people who are telling you that your content isn't going the right direction.
Yeah, so I think I, as a creator, really try. So first of all, a truth is that the bigger you get, the more hate you get. So that's kind of inevitable, and accepting that was definitely something I had to just come to terms with. I'm gonna get hate, but I think I read my comments, and I read and therefore when I read my comments, I read when I get hate comments. And I think for me, it's really clear when someone's commenting something that I said in a hateful way that's something I should learn from, and I should actually, take a second, think about it, and then maybe not say that again in future videos, or even potentially address it in a response video. But then there's comments where it's this is unproductive hate. And I don't know if you're aware of this, but there's kind of, I feel like, a debate on TikTok right now about creators who delete and block all hate comments. And a lot of consumers of TikTok are there are creators who block every single person who comments hate. And I think that's the right of the creator to be able to block haters. No one has a right to consume someone else's content. So if someone's commenting hate all the time, then I will block that person. Unless it's something that I can learn from and I think it's a productive comment, I'll just block it, because it's already such a mental game being on these apps that I have the power to block, I will. And maybe people don't agree with me, but that's my stance.
TikTok has an amazing feature that if you hold down on a video, you can click not interested. And what that won't do is it'll give you two options: is not interested in this video or not interested in this creator. And it will help you stop showing videos about the creator. If you keep interacting with that person's content, the algorithm is naturally going to show you more of that exact face that you don't like for some random reason. People don't like that I wear a hat all the time. It's I'm 31. I have a receding hairline. I wear a hat. What's under the hat? Nothing. But that's my trolling comments. I get that. So it's just, that'd be my best advice, is if you're going to troll someone, just block them or don't interact with the content, and then TikTok won't show you any more of it.
Yeah, the troll comments I get all the time is that people think my eyebrow color is fake, but fun fact, my hair color is fake. My eyebrows are real, just so you know, on the internet. Yeah. Before I let you guys go, I'm seeing some questions in the stream of kind of what's next for you? In yesteryears, it was your 5-year, your 10-year plan. How do you think about what your career is moving forward? Do you have those plans? Do you have a master idea of what this is going to look like for you in the future? And Rod, I'll kick it to you.
Yeah. Like I just said, I'm working on a TV pilot, which I'm really excited to be writing, and I already have had generals to pitch to producers once it's done. And that's the beauty of social media too, is I feel like a lot of comedians are seeing this kind of TikTok is lame because it's not real comedians, but it's also I'm in sales and I know how to network. So it's been, for me, more of just a networking opportunity. It's this has been awesome. And my face is being shown to more people than ever. So I've had the opportunity to meet with these people and build these relationships. So that for sure. And then I'm working on my own podcast too. So that's the near future plan. But yeah, in 5 to 10 years, I'd love to be part of a writer's room and just in keeping educational, and would love to do some hosting opportunities as well, or be a talk show correspondent or host, whatever that would look like.
We'd love to have you host LinkedIn News Live. I'm sure you could put me out of a job if you wanted to.
Yeah, so. I would love that. I don't want to put you on a job, but I would love to host.
Lydia, what about you?
Well, first off, Rod, I would say that you would be an amazing host, so you should pursue that. But weirdly, actually, or coincidentally, before doing all this TikTok, I was in the entertainment industry. I was an assistant at a production company, first in a talent. I was kind of on the classic path towards trying to be in a writer's room. So that's been the goal since I graduated college, and still is the goal. And I'm actually getting my MFA next year at BU in creative writing. So I hope to use my TikTok to leverage leverage, that audience towards a successful writing career. Obviously, my TikTok isn't really about writing right now, but I'll hopefully find a way to work it out.
I'm sure you will. Lydia, Rod, I've so enjoyed this conversation. I can tell by the stream that you've blown away a lot of people with comments and conversations. So I really appreciate you joining us on LinkedIn News Live.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, appreciate it. It was great.
That was Rod and Lydia Keaton talking to us about how they've built audiences on TikTok. I want to thank them for joining us on the show. We're having a great conversation around the TikTok economy right now on LinkedIn. So if you want to join the conversation, be sure to check out the news module to the right of your LinkedIn feed. Or if you're in mobile, you can click into that search box. All right, on Monday, we're going to be wrapping up our coverage for Pride Month with an interview with Christy Smith, former Diversity and Inclusion Officer at Apple and current Senior Managing Director at Accenture. I'm Caroline Fairchild. Thanks so much for watching LinkedIn News Live.